So, welcome everyone. Let's start with a moment of silence to shift our attention and to set our motivation. So I invite you to bring yourself present. Just give yourself permission to let go of everything that has gone on before. One way to help bringing yourself present to the here and now is by focusing your body, focusing on your body, your sit bones on the seat, feet probably on the floor, wherever they are. Your back straight, supporting yourself. Legs supporting you. Shoulders relaxed. As well as the arms and the hands. The neck slightly extended. Jaw relaxed. Just for a moment, we can close our eyes or keep them half open. And notice your breathing. No need to change anything. One way to do that is noticing the rising and falling of the abdomen. Using the breath as our anchor for a few moments. Whenever the mind wants to go somewhere else, just gently, firmly bring it back to the breath. Just as we've just checked our body, we can also check our mind and just notice what's going on there. What thoughts are there? What feelings or sensations? No need to do anything with them, just notice them. And let's also check our motivation for being here this session. Be your own therapist. What do you personally hope to get out of this session? Let's expand from our own wishes, including an altruistic motivation, including the wish to be an even wiser and kinder person. That our session together may be of benefit to all beings. Both ourselves and others. Thank you. So also welcome to Sean. So if you want to switch your camera on, that's great. We can all see each other, but if not, no problem. That's perfectly fine too. So my name is Margo van Greta. Good to see you all in this session. Be your own therapist. So some of you I know already, some of you maybe not so much, but I wanted to, so this is an ongoing session where we focus on taking the Dharma and looking how can we make use of that in our own lives. And yeah, so I'm living here in Scotland, from the Netherlands originally, but last year I was invited to teach in Santa Fe, and you have no idea what that does for conversations with my friends. I said, well, I need to go now. I need to teach in Santa Fe. They go, what? So it's just a highlight of my week. So it's very nice. I'm delighted to be here. And I want to begin with opening up for any questions, especially, some of you have been involved with the Dharma for a while, but also if you're new, I could start chatting away, but maybe you have questions. Oops, there is a bit of echo. Sean,
yes,
if you
Hi. I'm trying to start my camera.
Yes, I can see you.
Yeah, it's first time I join you. Is this something that happens every week at this time?
This happens every week. Yes, I'll be here. I started last week and I'll be here this month, about four sessions. But I think after that, there will be somebody else. I'll be back in July and in September. But this is a regular thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, Sean, have you been involved in Buddhism before, or is this quite new?
No, but in meditation, yes. I use meditation to calm down or try to get answers.
Very good. Fantastic.
It's hard to be disciplined and continue regularly meditating. That's my problem.
Okay. Yes. Yes, that can be a problem. So when do you do your meditation? Is that the morning or the evening or?
Well, I used to be mornings and then evenings now,
What?
but I think I would like to start morning.
What? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. Because the good thing of doing it in the morning is, well, then you've done it. Then you can tick the box, like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also it has then an effect for the whole day.
What do you think?
So
Yeah.
if it's a choice like either one or the other, then I would vote for mornings usually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, also Buddhists usually say if you can, and that is really the next step, to do both, to do something in the morning, no matter if it's short or long, and then do something in the evening.
Yeah.
So in the morning, the purpose is very much to do something to start the day, to, set a motivation, do some practice. If you do breathing practice, that's great. To do that for, to set up a positive note for the day.
Right.
So that's very helpful. Then in the evening, also to include something, we're here in the Mahayana tradition. So this usually includes the benefit of all beings. So if we say may my meditation be of benefit of all beings, may my whole day be of benefit to all beings. I'll be happy that even if you eat your breakfast or you go to work or to the shop or whatever you do, may it be for all beings. So then actually our whole day is Dharma practice. And not just if you sit for 20 minutes, doing the meditation. That's it, but actually your whole day.
Yeah. We are all connected.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, the other thing is to do a practice in the evening as well, not either one or the other, but maybe just 10 minutes or so to have a little bit of focus to review your day and, let things settle after a day. So that's another possibility. So how does that sound?
Okay. Well, sounds great.
Good. Well, good luck with it.
And quite possible.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Good. So any questions? Like otherwise I would start chatting a bit about something, but are there questions right now that you have? This was already a very good one about practice. We could spend the whole hour on setting up a practice. That's possible. But
Mm. Sorry, is this a half an hour?
this is 1 hour. Yeah, just.
Oh, I have to leave at 9:30.
Oh, okay. Both of you. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So maybe I'll just say a little bit. So the whole, point of Buddhist practice is basically to look at what is the source of our happiness. Maybe Sean, can you mute yourself if you're not speaking? Otherwise, there is some background noises or echo or so. It makes it
Just a
difficult.
second.
Mhm. So in Buddhist, they say the mind is the source of our happiness and of our problems. We tend to think it's the outer world, the outer circumstances. We tend to look at the outer circumstances for our happiness. Buddha said we live in the desire realm, that we always want something, that we tend to think the outer things make us happy. And in a way, check that out in your life, because you might think, well, I've done Buddhism for 3 months or 30 years or whichever it is. I know that already, but in a way, it's interesting to check, your daily experiences, your daily activities, and go like, am I really beyond it all? Or am I still craving something or someone or circumstances to make me happy? So that's actually very, very interesting. They say we live in samsara, this cyclic existence, and they say this life in samsara, it's like drinking salt water. It's apparently, I've never tried, but apparently if you drink salt water, you want to drink more and more because it makes sense. It's salty, you want to drink more, but it doesn't satisfy. Also, Rolling Stones. This is a teaching of Lama Zopa himself. He said, Rolling Stones, they have a song about I can't get no satisfaction. They're big hits in years ago. In a way, he said, that's a Dharma teaching. In a way, a Dharma teaching on like that, this ordinary life, it doesn't make me happy. And also he said, they didn't give a solution, more sex, drugs, rock and roll maybe, but they didn't really give a solution. And in a way, the Dharma intends to give a solution, intends to give us practices to actually deal with it. So since you both need to leave in whatever, 15, 20 minutes, I actually want to do a little meditation rather than chatting more about it, to do a little meditation, to look at certain patterns that you may have. Are you interested in that? So great. Let's take a moment to actually again relax your body. And I invite you to remember a disturbing situation in your life. Ideally a recent one, something that happened not so long ago. Something that bothers you or keeps hurting or making you angry or upset, or keep thinking about it. There may be more of them, but for now, for the meditation, just choose one. And remember, what were you thinking and feeling? Not what the other person was saying or doing, but what were you thinking or feeling? And how did the way you described the situation to yourself influenced how you experienced it? So then check how your attitude affected what you said and did in that situation. How did your words and actions affect that situation? Was there a response from the other person to what you said and did? Was your view of the situation realistic? Were you seeing all sides of the situation? Or were you seeing things through the eye of me, my, and mine? And for a moment, think of how you could have viewed the situation differently if you had had a more broad and spacious mind, free of self-centeredness. So imagine that situation is a movie, you're the director, and do a replay of it. How would that have changed your experience of that situation? And then maybe you can make a conclusion to determine, to be aware of how you interpret what is your interpretation of the events in your life, and to cultivate a more beneficial and realistic way of looking at them. And bring back any insights when you open your eyes and return your attention to the here and now. So just want to open the space. Anyone want to share any insights from this very short meditation?
I think for me, if I'm brutally honest with myself, very self-centered. My interpretation can come in many forms because it depends on whether I've practiced or not, or what time of day it is, and whether I'm tired. So I can be very blameful, or then I can use some Dharma and see the illusory nature of it all, and that can give me a giggle. Or then it can be, what my part was, and even realistic. I am My part conventionally is massive, more than the other person's, because I'm quite a there's quite an energy about me, really. I think. So if I'm yeah, brutally honest, they're the main things I identify in myself. Which does bring me a relief, because then I've got some control in future situations. I'm not such the victim.
Yes, beautiful. Yes, absolutely. I think that's a great way to approach, to approach life and to actually learn from situations rather than be bogged down by them, but to actually take, challenging situations and learn from them. And then, as you said, then you are in control and you can make a difference next time. So, yeah. So well done. That's fantastic. Because that's then another thing, to actually rejoice in when we, have difficulties and, deal with it, and maybe not perfectly, but then you learn from them. And we can say, hey, well done me, great. So I just want to say that. Yeah.
Thinking like you're burning off karma as well, as Venerable Robina says.
Yes.
But it's taken a lot of work and a lot of study and Dharma to come to this point. And I'm
Yeah.
45 now, so up to the age of like 20, 25, I was the permanent victim, So this is, it's a beautiful way to be now. It's such a relief. Because,
Yes.
in control. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Anna. Thank you for sharing. Right. Anyone else? Any insights?
It's with me, it's the realizing how silly it is that I overthink about a situation that seems very light, then it
Yeah.
make it into this mountain of grief in my head, and then later on I realize, wow, what a silly thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
happens a lot.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. No, well spotted. Yeah. Yeah. No, I did before the session, I did a bit of, preparation, and I did the meditation myself, and then looking at the recent situation in my life, and it's actually, humbling and embarrassing, and to really look at, I looked then at an issue, a very small thing happened in my work life. Somebody didn't send me something they should have sent, didn't send the registration forms for a workshop. Like, oh, well, but in a way, even now, 2 weeks later, today I met a friend and said, you know what happened? They didn't send me the registration forms, and go on like that, and like make it into a drama. And actually my own thinking, because it's just something, if you would say, well, in Santa Fe, somebody didn't send registration forms to someone else, well, too bad, I wouldn't have sleepless nights about it. But here, I thought, what is the difference in a way? And what can I learn from it? So in a way, I started to think of karma. Is it possible that anytime in this life or a past life, I didn't do my job perfectly and send the right pieces of information to the right people at the right time? Is that possible? And I go like, well, yeah, in times when I had no idea about the next job and I did the best I could, but I had no clue what I was doing, so I probably messed things up. So that's very possible. And then so in a way, that is how these teachings on karma can help, not to beat myself up or beat us up, but actually to think like, well, yeah. And another is also this whole concept of the I. In a way, some of you have mentioned that also. Like if that would happen in Santa Fe or Liverpool or who knows where else, I go like, oh well, too bad, not my business. But now the difference is it happened to me. I didn't, I was inconvenienced by some technical hiccup or someone forgot to do the right thing. So that's the problem. So, and then, of course, I can go into a meditation. So where is this I? Is this I in my body? Is this I in the mind? So to actually work with, is this I in, in the situation, in the activity? or what is so solid in that. So actually I use then that as a meditation on where is that I, and that becomes a little bit more, there comes a little bit more space and a little bit more openness and a bit more of understanding of the situation, that this person was actually new in their job and probably no one told them what to do, and it just inconvenienced me for a moment, but it's not the end of the world. So it gave me a whole different perspective. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that was my reasons.
You probably mean that the I that is not judgmental.
So Anna, okay, Anna needs to go. Yes, in a way.
That is outside of our physical I or physical self, right?
Well, in a way, in Buddhism, they have different ways of exploring, like, who actually is this I that is experiencing a certain situation, and how do we identify it? We have that with ourselves, but also with the things around us, that we have a tendency to exaggerate the importance of either of the I or of the things or the people or situations outside of us, that we make things a bit more fixed than in a way they usually are. So with my problem, I made it into a big problem. This is a big serious problem and it's really, really very bad. And in a way you can also make it a bit more spacious, like, oh well, then these emails or these things, they came half an hour later. So there is, so that is actually the whole, that's actually a fundamental aspect of the Buddhist teaching. So of to look at, how we really exist, and also how our surroundings really exist. So that is like a key topic. So usually they do meditations on, because we talk a lot about I do this and I want that and I need that and my life this and my problems that, and that's what we do. That is our point of reference. Now Buddhists ask then that question, so where is that I? Check it out. You may think, well, I sit here on this chair. I sit here in Scotland. I sit on the chair. I talk to you. That's me. It's like, okay, but is that the body? So, oh yes, the body is sitting. Yeah, the body is sitting on the chair. But that's not all there is. Then you think, oh well, there is a mind. A mind has thoughts and feelings and memories and ideas, and I can speak. So is that the I? But then you think, well, the mind, is that the I? Is the I this memory of this, inconvenient inconvenient thing that happened to me? Or is the I the moment when I really care about my mom and wish her well? Or is the I the moment where, I fall asleep and have a good night's sleep? Where is that I? So Buddhists do actually have a lot of teachings and meditations on reflecting on where is that I? And then when you really investigate, it's actually very hard to pinpoint on that I. Is the I, the upset I, or the peaceful and kind and helpful I, or the sleepy I, or, which is it? So then it becomes much more spacious and less fixed and less solid.
Maybe less personal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I have to run.
You have to go. Okay, well, thank you for being here. Maybe I'll
Thank
see you next week. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, here we go. I mean, do you have any questions, or you have it?
No, if I was going to be next, I was going to mention the fact that even at my age, I still worry so much about what other people think about me. So like when I'm in a conversation, I'm constantly looking at their face for signs of how they feel, whether they're, whether they're happy with me or whether I'm saying something that they don't agree with. And then I catch myself changing what I'm saying to make them happy again. And yeah, I still haven't gotten rid of that.
Right. I know that one. Yeah, that's a very tricky one. Yes, absolutely. Yes. No, it's a very good thing to notice that you have that. I mean, I can recognize that very much. Yes. And yeah, and in a way, probably Buddhist. Do you have do you have thoughts about, how to counteract that, or how would the Dharma?
But the way I try to counteract it, and it's not a direct antidote, it's just a process of being more comfortable with who I am, more comfortable realizing that the other person is probably going through the same thing that I am. It's like, there's nothing direct, but it's everything else I do that eventually will make me comfortable enough with those situations where it doesn't happen as often. It gets less and less.
Yes.
I mean, there was a point when I didn't realize that's what was happening.
Mm.
And now there's a point where I can see it happening and I can back off from it. I can, like you say, put the space between
Yes.
what I'm doing and the event that's happening.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's very good, because it is, in a way, when you mentioned it, it's like one of there's these 8 worldly concerns, isn't it? Like,
yes,
wanting praise. You want people to say,
yeah,
"Oh, that's so good what you
praise or
said."
criticism. Yeah.
Yes, and not, "Oh, you're terrible. I don't agree at all." So in a way, we want praise. We want people to say, "Oh, you're so good. You're so intelligent, or so helpful, or whatever." Yes, yeah, that's a tricky one. Yeah.
It is, because in everything you do, like every kind act you do, every good thing you do, in the back of your mind is always that thing: am I doing this so that they'll like me, or am I doing this because I'm doing something good? And then you get to realize it's a little bit of both. And as long as you're in samsara, it's always going to be a little bit of both.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No, that sounds like a great way to work with it. Absolutely. Yeah. So you can rejoice in, in your raising awareness of that, because it makes you also very human, especially now you share it. Like, well, you're not the only person with that. I bet
Exactly. Yeah.
you mention it, I go like, oh yes, I remember that, or I still have that situations, and a lot of people will be like that. So it's actually very good to realize it, that you are aware of it. And then, as you said, give it more space, so it has less attachment, or it has less of a hook into you. Yeah. 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 No, very good. And in a way, since we just talked about emptiness, in a way,
Yeah.
this topic of emptiness, sometimes that can also help there, if you any understanding, or if you what you have of it, you can then bring that in those situations. So that can be a practice to actually reduce the negative effect of those situations.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of the other ways of looking at it is that the more you worry about what other people think about you, the more you're saying, I'm me and you're you, and there's that separation. And what you're really trying to do is to bring it together so that there is no me and there is no you.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. Well then. Okay. So just aware, we've lost our participants. So Anna also had to leave.
Yes.
Yes. See you next week. Yeah, great. Okay. So maybe we just close here.
Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
We can do that. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for your presence, and
You're welcome, and
I'll-
thank you.
my pleasure. And I'll see you next week.